Strategic Dream: Putting the Power of Your Subconscious Mind to Work by Joseph Murphy. Reach new levels of career success using the power of your subconscious mind. Chapter 1: Establishing and Achieving Your Goals. You must give to receive. If you give mental attention to your goals, ideals, and enterprises, your deeper mind will back you up. All successful people start with a goal. Establishing goals and working towards their achievement is the first step one must take on the long road to success. By knowing where you are going and how you plan to get there, you will be able to focus your time, energy, and emotion and start on the right track towards reaching those goals. A ship that has broken its rudder may keep everlastingly at it, may keep on a full head of steam, driving about all the time, but never arrive anywhere. It never reaches any port unless by accident, and if it does find a haven, its cargo may not be suited to the people, the climate, or the conditions. The ship must be directed to a defined port for which its cargo is adapted and where there is a demand for it. And it must aim steadily for that port through sunshine and storm, through temps and fog. So a person who will succeed must not drift about rudderless on the ocean of life, but must steer straight towards a destined port not only when the ocean is smooth, when the currents and winds surf, but also keep the course in a very tent of winds and temps, even when enveloped in fogs of disappointment and mist of opposition. It starts with a dream. Do you have a dream? A vision of the future? Is your dream, are you rich, famous, happy? Most people do dream of such a future, but in most cases that's all it will ever be, a dream. Successful people have had those dreams too, but they turn those dreams into goals and turn into reality. Their dreams were not bold hopes for success, but dreams of specific achievements they aimed for. Edison dreamed of a world in which electric energy would light up the night. Stevenson dreamed of an engine that would pull trains and eliminate the back-breaking labor of man and beast. Beethoven dreamed of music that will make the spirit soar. Great actors, artists, musicians, writers dream, not just of fame, but of the way they will utilize their talents to achieve success. Dreaming is not limited to such geniuses. All successful people report that their success started with a hope, a dream. Over the years of hundreds of men and women have reported that their achievements all started with a dream, which led to a goal, which led to a plan of action, and inevitably to accomplishing their goal. Dreaming is not limited to the young. It is never too late to have a new dream that leads to a new goal, that leads to a new success. It is astonishing that people who have had their dreams late in life have accomplished. Benjamin Franklin was past 50 before he began to study of science and philosophy. Milton, in his blindness, was past the age of 50 when he sat down to complete his epic poem Paradise Lost. Dreaming is not limited to biases and prejudices of the times. For countless years, women have been restricted in what they can attempt to accomplish. Their career goals were once limited to what were considered female jobs. It took determination and courage to even think about other careers. One example is Elaine Pagos, Princeton professor and best-selling author of books on Gnosticism and early Christianity. She said she was educated at a time when girls were thought not to even consider serious careers. She felt free to follow what she loved, only later discovering she could make a living out of it. Her dream had become her goal. Today, the barriers are gone in most career areas. For example, in most law, medical, and other professional schools in the United States, half or more of the students are women. In the 1990s and early 2000s, many American companies began to outsource jobs to countries where labor costs were significantly lower. This resulted in loss of jobs for thousands of people. Some people retired, some gave up, went on welfare, and spent years grieving about their misfortune. However, the majority drew on their inner resources and trained for jobs in other fields. Most had to start over at lower wages than in their previous employment. But with renewed energy and enthusiasm, they began to once again climb the ladder to success. Even brains are second in importance to determination. Only those with strong determination that nothing shall impede them are sure that with perseverance and grit they will succeed. Dreams become goals and goals become achievements to those who thrive long enough and hard enough. Most of the things that make life worth living, that have emancipated us from drudgery and lifted us above commonness and ugliness, the great amenities of life, we owe to our dreamers. Converting dreams into goals. Unfortunately, too many dreamers remain just that, dreamers. The dreams remain dreams. To make your dreams come true, you must convert them into goals. Then they are no longer fantasies. Be objective that you can set before you as a roadmap to success. You must bring your dreams a purpose, a determination that you will do all that you can to make your dreams come true. A woman who had a dream and converted it into a successful goal is the clothing designer Rachel Roy. Rachel's love for fashion was inspired by the movie she saw as a child. The clothes the woman wore on the screen seemed to give them an aura of confidence and success. Rachel dreamed that she could create the same aura for herself and other women. A sophisticated look that will create positive self-esteem. She and her family went school shopping once a year. She was disrupted by the lack of interesting clothing choices in a local store and was convinced that if she had the opportunity, she could create better styles. Her mother told her that this was the job of a buyer. Now she could put a name to her dream, buyer. At the moment, she said, her dream became her goal, to become a buyer in the fashion field. Her first job was a stock clerk. She moved rapidly to assistant manager, to personal shopper, to stylist in various stores. She was soon designing fashion and was on the road to a senior position in her company. When her husband, Damon Dash, wanted to start an independent clothing line, Rachel had a decision to make, whether or not to leave her own successful career to start over with Damon. She chose to start over, throwing herself into the job, working in every capacity, tracking everything she did to contribute and involving herself in as many facets of the business as possible. She wanted to make herself irreplaceable. After about 6 years, she was just about to introduce a new line within the company when Damon sold it. By now, Rachel was confident she could run a business herself and form her own company. Her designs were acclaimed by the industry, and today she is considered one of the foremost designers in the fashion industry. There is an infinite distance between the wishes and the doers. Rachel Roy was more than a dreamer and a wisher. She turned her dreams into a goal and worked hard to achieve that goal. Your secret weapon, your subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind have a tremendous power in creating us the habits of expectancy and believing that we should realize our ambitions, that our dreams will come true. The very habit of expecting that the future is full of good things for you, that you are going to be prosperous and happy, that you are going to have a fine family, a beautiful home, a successful career, and are going to stand for something, the best kind of capital on which you start your life. You must always try to express the ideal. Your subconscious will respond and the things you would like to come true in your life, whether it be robust health, noble character, or a super career, will result. If you visualize your results as vividly as possible and try with all your might to realize them, they are more likely to come true than if you do not. It is only when your desire crystallizes into resolve, however, this is effective. It is the desire complete with the vigorous determination to realize that produces the creative power. It is the yearning, the longing, and the striving together that produces results. If you wish to improve yourself in any particular ways, visualize the quality as vividly as tensely as possible and hold a superior idea along the line of your ambition. Keep this persistently in your mind until you feel its uplift and realization of your life. You are born to win, to conquer, and to lead a triumph life. You should be a wonderful success in your choice in work, your relationship with people, and in all other phases of your life. The clearer your instructions are to your subconscious, the more it can help you. This inner mind responds to your commands much the way sailors manning the engine and controls of an ocean liner responds to the orders of the captain on deck. If the words are precise and unmistakable, then the crew sets about turning the vessel to the ordered direction or increasing its speed exactly as they are told. But you, as a captain, are not sure yourself what you want. Then the subconscious mind will get an unclear message and your ship will follow a random or haphazard or circular course. You need to tell your subconscious exactly what you want. You need to direct it to help attain your goals. When you know that your true desire really is, your subconscious mind will propel you unerringly towards it. But it needs to know that you are genuinely, fervently, and unwillingly want this goal and that you will not forsake it for all the other conflicting and contradictory wishes, notions, and momentary fancies that flit through your mind. In that way, you become a positive thinker and are set to meet your goals. Believe in your goals and you will achieve them. Prosperity begins in the mind and is impossible to achieve while the mental attitude is hostile to it. It is fatal to work for one thing and expect something else because everything must be created mentally first and it bounds to follow its mental pattern. You cannot become prosperous if you really expect or half expect to remain poor. We tend to get what we expect, and to expect nothing is to get nothing. When every step you take is on the road to failure, how can you hope to arrive at the success goal? Facing the wrong way towards the black, depressing, hopeless outlook, even though we may be working in the opposite direction, kills the results of our effort. Thoughts are magnets that attract things like themselves. If your mind dwells upon poverty and disease, it will bring poverty and disease. There is no possibilities of you producing just the opposite of what you are holding in your mind because your mental attitude is a pattern which is built into your life. Your accomplishments are achieved mentally first. The terror of failure and the fear of coming to one and to possible humiliation keep multitudes of people from obtaining the very things they desire by sapping their vitality and incapacitating them through worry and anxiety for the effective creative work necessary to give them success. Be an optimist. Develop the habits of looking at everything constructively from the bright, hopeful side, the side of faith and the assurance. Refrain from looking at the life with doubt and uncertainty. Acquire the habits of believing the best is going to happen, that the right must triumph. Have faith that truth is bound finally to conquer error, that harmony and health are in the reality and discord and disease of temporary absence of it. This is the attitude of the optimism which will ultimately reform the world. Analyze yourself. There's only one person in the entire world who can set you on the road to success. That person is you. Before you can determine what goal can get you started on this journey, you must first evaluate yourself. Search deep inside of your mind and pull out from your subconscious what it is that you really want and out of life. What assets you have that will lead you to reaching your goals. You must be realistic. You may want to establish a goal that appears desirable, but you may not have the abilities needed to achieve them. You may want to be a movie star or an opera singer, but don't have the talent needed. Your dream career may be in areas that are not feasible for you to attempt. On the other hand, you may have aptitudes and skills that you don't realize you have and which can lead to a satisfying and profitable career. How can you find out? Look deeply inside yourself. A careful introspection will bring this out. Most adults already know what they can and cannot do, what they like and do not like. It may be obvious, but introspection enables you to go beyond the obvious and think deeply about yourself. A good example of this is Chanda Rhimes, creator and executive producer of television shows Grey Autonomy and Private Practice. Even as a child, she knew that she would become a creative writer. She made up stories and spoke them into a tape recorder before she knew how to write. Her mother encouraged her by transcribing them, hence making them real. What you have to do is go systematically over your education, previous experience, hobbies, and interests. Look for those aspects in your life in which you have been successful and in which you achieve satisfaction and joy. These are indications of the areas of which you will succeed in the future, but this is only the beginning. Successful people learn at the very outset of their careers just what funds they can draw upon. Take an inventory of all the possible assets and resources. Don't just look at what you have accomplished thus far in your life, but what you know you can accomplish. The great majority of young people start on their careers with little knowledge of their mental capacities, and they usually discover them piece by piece over time. Most people never discover them more than a small percent of their ability and never rise above low level positions. They plod along in mediocrity yet have resources. If they could only detect them, it could lift them into superior positions. Somehow they never come in touch with the right sort of ambition, arousing environment, or do not come in contact with just the necessary material to ignite the giant power of the great within of themselves. One way to identify your hidden potential is to list those as aspects of your schooling, job held, and other activities in which you have been engaged. Then reflect on which of these activities you enjoy doing the most, which gives you the most satisfaction, and those you really dislike performing. Judge D, a 25-year-old college grad, had been very unhappy in his job and claim adjuster in an insurance company. He had majored in business management and had taken this job with the hope he would lead to a management position. When he listed all the types of activities he performed, he realized that what he liked least was doing detail work. He noted that his boss and his boss spent most of their time in similar activities. He also noted that the aspect of the job that he enjoyed most was dealing with the policy holders, interviewing them and working with them on their claims. And reviewing his school activities and his work with a community group, he found that his most rewarding work had been with people. Josh discussed this with the human resources department of his company, and then suggested he might find his niche and more successful in a sales position. He made the change and now is enjoying his work and is on the road to a successful career. Oneness of purpose. Successful people strongly believe that one must be totally committed to one's goal. There is a great power in a resolution that has no reservation in it, a strong, persistent, tenacious purpose that burns all bridges behind, clears all obstacles from its path, and arrives at its goal no matter how long it may take, no matter what the sacrifice or the cost. To succeed, you must concentrate all the faculties of your mind upon one unwavering aim, and have tendency of purpose, which means death or victory. Every other inclination that tempts you must be suppressed. A one talent person who decides upon a defined object accomplishes more than the 10 talent person who scatters energies and never knows exactly what to do. By concentrating powers upon one thing, the weakest living creatures can accomplish something. By despairing powers may over many things, the strongest may fail to accomplish anything. A tinful of powder behind a ball in a rifle will do more of an execution than a carload of powder unconfined. The rifle barrel is the purpose that gives aim to the powder, which otherwise, no matter how good it might be, it will be powerless. It isn't the single aim that wins. People who succeed have a program. They plan a course and adhere to it. They lay out their plans and execute them. They go straight to their goals. They are not pushed this way and that way every time a difficulty is thrown in their path. If they can get over it, they go through it. Constant and steady use of faculties under the central purpose gives strength and power, while they use faculties without a name or and only weakness them. The mind must be focused on a defined end, or machinery without balanced wheel, it will rack itself to pieces. Sum and substance. Developing goals are reasonable and achievable is the first step to success, whether it is in your career or any other aspect of your life. You must plant the seed in your subconscious mind that will enable you to accept and implement those goals. Here are 7 steps that will facilitate this process. 1. Goals should be clearly stated. Indicate in clear terms what you wish to accomplish. Be specific and firm in stating the goal. For example, saying, "My goal is to be the best salesperson in the company." Sounds good, but it is better to be more specific. "My goal is to reach a sales volume of many dollars for the next fiscal year and 10% more each year for the next 3 years." Now you know your target, and your subconscious mind will help you concentrate your efforts on reaching those figures. 2. Goals should be inspiring. If you set a goal that is too easily attained, it will not motivate you to do more than the minimal work. Set goals that will inspire you to keep moving ahead and work that much harder to achieve them. Achievers recognize that once a goal is reached, they should immediately set another goal that will make them stretch to continue to improve and grow. 3. Goals should be measurable. It is not always possible to quantify your goals. Some goals can be measured in financial or other numerical terms. You can set sales figures that you wish to attain by the month, quarter, or year in terms of units of product or dollar value. You can set production goals by amount. Even intangible goals, which cannot be quantified, can be established in measurable terms. The major goal can be broken into segments and timetable sets for completion of each segment. In this way, you can measure how close you are to reaching each of the segments and fine tune your activities to ensure you will be accomplished in a timely manner. 4. Goals should be action based. Unless the actions that will be taken to implement your goals are noted, the goals are no more than dreams. Actions require activity, mental, physical, and emotional. Mentally, you must be prepared to think about your goals every spare moment and what actions you must take to realize them. Your subconscious mind will help you convert your thoughts into action. 5. Goals should be written down. One way to ensure that goals will not be forgotten or lost in the hectic day-to-day life is to write them down. Make a list of your long-term goals. Break them into intermediate and short-term goals. Write them in large letters and post them where you can see them every day. Over your desk, on the refrigerator, or your mirror. Read them, memorize them, reread them, and ask each day, what am I doing to accomplish these goals? 6. Goals should be shared with another person. Another way of assuring that you will not let your goals go the way of New Year's resolution is to tell somebody about it, somebody you respect, somebody whom you listen to. Bill Wilson, one of the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous, reported that one of their major acts that help participants in keeping sober is sharing their goals with others. Gene Nitsch, founder of Weight Watchers, reported similar experience. 7. Goals should be flexible. There are times when circumstances change and the goals you set are no longer pertinent. Economic conditions may not be favorable for starting the new enterprise. Technological innovations may be made your goal obsolete. You have made errors in your research and the goal is not feasible. This does not necessarily mean the goal must be abandoned. It may just be require new thinking or more study. If you are faced with such situation, review that you have transpired and make necessary adjustments. Turning your dream into a strategic dream. Dream big. Peace.